The world of American media and politics was recently shaken by an explosive controversy involving legal action, media sensationalism, and the blurred lines between opinion and defamation. At the center of this storm stand two high-profile women: Sunny Hostin, the co-host of the popular talk show The View, and Melania Trump, the First Lady of the United States. What began as a heated discussion on daytime television quickly escalated into a legal battle worth $100 million, ultimately leading to rumors that Hostin had fled the country to escape the consequences. But what really happened? In this extensive breakdown, we'll explore the timeline of events, the legal implications, the media's role, and the potential long-term effects of this unprecedented legal drama. The controversy erupted during an episode of The View, ABC's long-running talk show known for its candid and often heated political discussions. The panel, consisting of Sunny Hostin, Whoopi Goldberg, Joy Behar, Alyssa Farah-Griffin, and Sarah Haynes, discussed a recent report on the relationship between Melania and Donald Trump. During the discussion, Sunny Hostin made a remark that instantly went viral. She suggested that Melania Trump hates her husband and even implied that she might have personal motives to take him out, a statement that, while clearly opinionated, was perceived by some as a serious allegation. The reaction to Hostin's comment was swift and intense. Within hours, social media exploded with opinions on both sides. Some defended her, arguing that she was merely expressing an opinion, while others condemned her, claiming she had crossed a line by making such an inflammatory statement about a former First Lady and the wife of a presidential candidate. News outlets across the political spectrum picked up the story, with conservative media particularly outraged. Right-wing commentators accused Hostin of engaging in irresponsible rhetoric and suggested that her words could incite harm or legal consequences. But no one expected what would happen next. Just days after the episode aired, Melania Trump's legal team announced a lawsuit against Sunny Hostin, demanding $100 million in damages. The lawsuit, filed in New York State Supreme Court, accused Hostin of defamation. Melania's lawyers argued that Hostin's statement falsely suggested she had criminal intentions, which could harm her reputation. Emotional distress. The suit claimed that the remarks caused significant emotional suffering for Melania and her family. Professional harm. The legal team contended that Hostin's comments could damage Melania's public image, affecting her business interests and future engagements. Legal analysts were divided on the merits of the case. Some argued that Melania, as a public figure, would have a difficult time proving defamation, while others pointed out that the sheer scale of the lawsuit indicated a serious attempt to punish Hostin for her comments. ABC, the network that airs The View, remained silent at first but later issued a cautious statement, saying it would review the matter internally. Meanwhile, Hostin did not immediately respond, until rumors started spreading that she had left the country. Shortly after the lawsuit was announced, multiple reports surfaced claiming that Sunny Hostin had left the United States. While some outlets framed this as a planned vacation, others speculated that she was attempting to escape legal trouble. Anonymous sources claimed that Hostin had traveled to Europe or the Caribbean, though no official confirmation was given. Her social media accounts went unusually silent, adding to the mystery. Critics seized upon this absence, mocking her and suggesting that she had run away, rather than face the consequences of her words. Supporters, however, insisted that she was merely taking time to reflect, and that Melania's lawsuit was an intimidation tactic designed to silence criticism. But regardless of the speculation, the legal battle was far from over. As the controversy raged on, legal experts began dissecting the lawsuit, questioning whether Melania Trump had a strong case against Sunny Hostin. The primary challenge for Melania's legal team was proving defamation. In the United States, public figures like Melania Trump have a higher burden of proof in defamation cases due to the Supreme Court's ruling in New York Times Company v. Sullivan, 1964. According to this precedent, Melania's lawyers would have to prove not just that Hostin's statement was false, but that she made it with actual malice, meaning she knowingly lied or showed reckless disregard for the truth. Some legal analysts believe the case was weak, arguing that Hostin's comments were clearly opinion-based rather than statements of fact. Others, however, pointed out that suggesting someone might be plotting harm against a former president could be interpreted as crossing a legal threshold. Meanwhile, ABC executives held emergency meetings behind the scenes, strategizing their next move. Although they initially avoided commenting publicly, insiders revealed that the network was considering whether to suspend Sunny Hostin to de-escalate the controversy, defend her vigorously, arguing that her comments fell under First Amendment protection, attempt to settle the lawsuit out of court to avoid prolonged legal drama. After more than a week of silence, Sunny Hostin finally returned to the public eye, appearing in a pre-recorded interview with a trusted journalist. Her absence had fueled wild rumors, including speculation that she had fled to France or the Bahamas, but she dismissed those claims outright. In her statement, Hostin addressed the situation carefully. "Look, I stand by what I said in the context of the discussion we were having. It was an opinion, not a fact. And I believe we should be able to have honest conversations without facing billion-dollar lawsuits designed to silence us." She also called Melania's lawsuit a dangerous precedent and vowed to fight it in court. Her defiance reignited the debate. Supporters praised her for standing her ground, while critics claimed she was playing the victim after making a reckless remark. As expected, Donald Trump did not remain silent. The former president took to Truth Social, his social media platform, to express his thoughts on the controversy. In a series of posts, he called Hostin a fake news liar and suggested that The View should be canceled for spreading misinformation. "These people are disgusting. They lie about me. They lie about my wonderful wife. And they think they can get away with it. We will not let them." Trump supporters rallied behind the lawsuit, launching a #BoycottTheView campaign on social media. Conservative figures on Fox News and other right-wing outlets amplified the backlash, calling on advertisers to pull their support from the show. Meanwhile, progressives and free speech advocates framed the lawsuit as an attack on journalism and political discourse, with some calling it an example of a slap lawsuit, a strategic lawsuit against public participation meant to intimidate and silence critics. As legal motions were filed and court dates were set, speculation grew that the lawsuit could escalate to a landmark case with constitutional implications. If the court ruled in favor of Melania, it could set a dangerous precedent for media personalities, potentially making them more vulnerable to massive lawsuits whenever they made critical or controversial remarks about public figures. On the other hand, if the lawsuit were dismissed, it could reinforce the strong legal protections for free speech in the U.S. Legal scholars debated whether the case could eventually reach the Supreme Court, especially given the politically charged nature of the dispute. Behind the scenes, ABC executives faced a critical decision. The controversy had become a ratings goldmine, with The View experiencing a massive spike in viewership due to the drama. However, some executives worried about the long-term reputational damage the lawsuit could inflict. Anonymous sources claimed that some high-profile advertisers were getting nervous and considering pulling out. Additionally, network lawyers feared that ABC could be dragged into the lawsuit, potentially costing the company millions in legal fees. Rumors swirled that ABC might push Hostin to resign, but firing her could also backfire, leading to accusations of censorship and corporate cowardice. For now, Hostin remained on The View, but her future on the show remained uncertain. As the legal battle continues, several key questions remain. Will Melania Trump win the $100 million lawsuit, or will it be dismissed? Will ABC stand by Sunny Hostin, or will they cave under pressure? How will this impact future media discussions on political figures? Could this case change defamation laws in the U.S.? One thing is certain, this controversy is far from over. Whether it ends in a courtroom showdown, a settlement, or a dramatic twist remains to be seen. As the lawsuit progressed, both Sunny Hostin's legal team and Melania Trump's attorneys prepared for what could become one of the most high-profile defamation cases in recent history. The initial court filings were filled with strong accusations from both sides, setting the stage for a legal showdown. Melania Trump's attorneys doubled down on their claims, arguing that Hostin's statements were not mere opinions but outright defamatory. They pointed out that Hostin implied that Melania Trump wished harm upon her husband, which could be interpreted as an accusation of criminal intent. The statement went viral, spreading misinformation and allegedly causing distress to Melania and her family. Melania had a right to protect her reputation, particularly since she had largely avoided public controversies in recent years. However, Hostin's legal team fought back aggressively, filing a motion to dismiss the lawsuit under anti-SLAPP, strategic lawsuits against public participation, laws, which are designed to protect free speech from frivolous lawsuits. Their argument was clear. Hostin was engaging in political commentary, which is protected under the First Amendment. Melania Trump, as a public figure, must meet a higher legal standard to prove defamation. The statement was clearly opinion, not a factual claim that could be proven or disproven. As the lawsuit moved forward, the American public remained deeply divided over the case. Supporters of Melania Trump insisted that this was about accountability and that public figures like Hostin should not be allowed to spread damaging falsehoods without consequences. Many conservative voices pointed to the rise of fake news and said that this lawsuit could set a precedent for holding media figures responsible. Defenders of Hostin and free speech advocates argued that this lawsuit was an attempt to intimidate journalists and critics. Many claimed that Trump allies often used the legal system to silence opposition, and that this was another example of weaponizing defamation lawsuits against the media. Some of the biggest media personalities and legal analysts weighed in. Tucker Carlson, former Fox News host, "This is a long overdue response to media figures lying about conservatives. If you say something false and damaging, you should be held accountable." Rachel Maddow, MSNBC host, "This is a dangerous precedent. If Melania Trump can sue Sunny Hostin for an opinion, what stops others from suing journalists for every critique?" While this case was largely a personal lawsuit between Melania Trump and Sunny Hostin, it quickly became clear that Donald Trump was using it to his advantage. At the time of the lawsuit, Trump was deep in his 2024 presidential campaign, preparing for another battle against Joe Biden. This controversy energized his base, as he framed the lawsuit as an attack on media corruption. During multiple campaign rallies, Trump referenced the case, saying, "They lie about us every single day. They lie about me. They lie about my wonderful wife. And we're not going to take it anymore. We're going to make them pay." His supporters cheered wildly, seeing the lawsuit as part of a broader fight against the media establishment. However, some political analysts warned that this strategy could backfire. If the case were dismissed or if Melania lost in court, it could be a humiliating defeat that made Trump's team look weak. Meanwhile, Democratic politicians mostly avoided the controversy, choosing not to make it a major campaign issue. Some, however, privately expressed concerns that the lawsuit could stifle political speech. While Hostin remained defiant publicly, tensions behind the scenes at ABC were growing. The network was now facing immense pressure from multiple directions. Advertisers were getting nervous. Several major sponsors were reportedly considering pulling ads from The View, fearing that the controversy was becoming too toxic. ABC executives debated whether to suspend or fire Hostin. Some higher-ups reportedly believed that keeping her on air could worsen the backlash, while others felt that giving in to pressure could make ABC look weak. The View's producers were split. Some insiders suggested that Whoopi Goldberg and Joy Behar were backing Hostin and urging ABC not to cave to political pressure. Amid these internal conflicts, rumors spread that Hostin was considering leaving the show voluntarily. However, she denied these rumors and insisted that she would continue to fight the lawsuit and remain on the show. As the lawsuit progresses, several possible outcomes could shape the future of free speech in media, political commentary, and the legal rights of public figures. 1. The case is dismissed if the judge rules in favor of Hostin's motion to dismiss. Melania Trump's lawsuit will fail before going to trial. This would be a major victory for Hostin and free speech advocates, but it could anger Trump supporters, who may see it as evidence of bias in the legal system. ABC would likely keep Hostin on the show, and she could emerge stronger than before. 2. The case goes to trial, and Melania Trump wins. If the lawsuit goes to trial and the court rules in favor of Melania Trump, Hostin could face a financial disaster. Even if the damages were reduced, a ruling in favor of Melania could embolden more lawsuits against media personalities, making networks more cautious about political commentary. ABC could be forced to fire Hostin or settle. 3. The case is settled out of court. One likely scenario is that both parties reach a confidential settlement, avoiding a prolonged legal battle. This would allow Melania Trump to claim victory without a full trial, while Hostin could move on without admitting fault. ABC may pay a portion of the settlement to protect their brand. Regardless of how the lawsuit ends, this controversy has already had a major impact on American media and politics. It has sparked new debates about free speech, media responsibility, and the use of lawsuits as political weapons. With a presidential election approaching, this case may also serve as a preview of how media figures, politicians, and public figures will clash in the future. For now, the world waits to see what the courts, ABC, and the key players will do next.